Down by the river, in the coolness of the light, was an itty-bitty frog that had been there all night. He skimpered and he scampered through the grass so green. He was the cutest little frog you had ever seen. He hopped and he hopped through the field so tall, and he chatted with the mice as they sat on the wall. The frog waved at the bees as they buzzed along, and he listened to the crickets as they played their song. Then the itty-bitty frog had just stopped for a rest when he saw a little bird that had fallen from his nest. The bird lay crying at the bottom of the tree. He shouted out loudly, "Please help me!" Well, the frog hopped over to the tiny little bird. "Are you the one shouting? Are you the one I heard?" The bird nodded his head and stuck out his chest. "Yes, I'm the one you heard. I fell from my nest. When I fell from my nest, I began to roam. Now it looks as if I'm a long way from home." And the frog looked down and said with a sigh, "Hush, little bird, there's no need to cry. I'll get you home to the top of the tree. Don't worry about a thing. Just leave it all to me." The baby bird said, "Thanks, I don't mean to complain, but I'm awfully scared and it looks like rain." So the frog made a bed to keep the bird dry. He turned his head up and looked towards the sky. It was a long way up to the top of the nest, but the frog was determined to give it his best. He hopped and he hopped until his legs grew sore, and he searched until he couldn't any more. Itty-bitty frog sat down to think for a while when he heard a faint cry, "Where is my child?" Frog ran into the woods to see who it could be. It was the sad mama bird sitting high in a tree. She had tears in her eyes and a broken heart too. She had looked all over and didn't know what to do. The frog jumped up and yelled loudly, "Look down here, mama bird, at the bottom of the tree. I found your baby, and he's not too far from here. He's lying safely tucked away, so there's no need to fear. I'll go and get him as quickly as I can." The frog turned to hop away, and then the rain began. At first it started slowly, with just a drop or two, and then the sky grew tired of that and let the rain pour through. But this didn't stop the itty-bitty frog as he hopped along the trail. He had to get the birdie home. He didn't want to fail. The frog got back. He didn't know what to say, for a giant flood had come and washed the baby bird away. So the itty-bitty frog began searching through the forest and the trees. He even asked the crickets, the mice, and the bees. No one had seen the baby that had fallen to the ground, so the frog kept on searching and looking all around. He looked under the rocks and over by the well, and then he saw something move, but he really couldn't tell. The frog got a little closer and peered without a word, and sure enough, to his surprise, it was the baby bird. The frog picked him up quickly and gently shook him dry. "I'm taking you to your mama so she doesn't have to cry." The bird chirped loudly, with excitement and with glee. "Thank you, Mr. Frog. You're so kind to help me." The frog took the baby to the smiling mama bird. She said, "You're an honest frog because you really kept your word." The frog smiled back and said, "I didn't mind. I wish everyone we met could be a little kind." The itty-bitty frog turned around in the coolness of the light to happily tuck himself away for a very pleasant night.